check your knowledge base on the questions. So this is something that I truly recommended. Second place that I told you about, going for really live class, when you sit 8 hours with me or maybe with my colleagues, it's when you're going for the training. Oh la 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 la, what is this? Training.sap.com. I just put this information here. And here you can also find the class for the live session. Because again, I know that this question pop up very often on my class. Here you have it possibility to learn. What is important, guys? On the top right corner, as you can see, I have the German ball, but you can change it for any district that you take the classes. So you can take for Argentina, you can take, I think, from Poland, I think you can take from China, Indonesia, Japan, Czech Republic. You have to change for your district, because then you have it information about the training live class on this district. Unfortunately, one more time, material that I provided right now, it's not available for you. But again, as you can see here, it's the live class, and you have information in which language we provided this live class. We have English, we have German right now available. Okay, so with this information, we jump one more time for our delivery. And we start with session number 1. In this session number 1, we're going to talk a little bit about user interface, about SAP Fiori user experience and SAP Fiori Launchpad and SAP GUI. Are you aware of this? What is the Fiori or GUI? Are you working already, or this is for you new subject? How it is with your guys? Not used yet. New. Okay, cool. New for you too. Okay, perfect. I was waiting for this information. Still working on ECC. Cool. Thank you for this information. When I learned, I have experience, with Cisco. I have experience with Oracle, and for me, very important when I learn new stuff, it's where the story begins. I want to show you something that I found it before I learn for this class, prepare for this class. I don't know if you are aware what is this first. This, guys, it's first computer. And what is amazing, you see that this first computer job was dedicated to the woman. And the woman, by just putting these buttons, give the information for first computers. Then, what is quite interesting, was changing the environment for this. And by the way, this is my own private collection, and it comes from Poland from 90s. And this used my mom when she tried to provide some information to the computer, some data. So you can see here the codes, and it was information like what she want to get from computer. So when we talk about Fiori and when we talk about GUI, you have to know that it's interface that you provide information to the computer. And it starts first by clicking the buttons, then giving the information to the system by this card, and then was the first information calling GUI. That was the first information provided, the view provided to system. One more time, we're going with the slides. And this slide exactly tells you what happened, why we have classic user interface, and why we change it for the Fiori user interface. So aim of the classic SAP user interface was to provide maximum functionality and maximize efficiency during the use. There was no distinction on roles. Every user, no matter from which department they belong, they use one transaction. And technical and social changes brings new approach of usage and application. IT was no longer reserved for experts, and SAP follow this change by example creating Fiori. The business software bring different approach from functionality to experience, from efficiency to good experience, where the business application is easy to use and concentrate of users. So role-based requirements toward application. No more one transaction for all, instead role-based approach. So why I shows you at the beginning these changes? Because I want to tell you which step was changing. And again, this slide starting the moment telling you, okay, you have it old interface, classic interface, when you have everything on one page for Fiori, when you use it only what you needed, and you don't have to care about additional fields or about additional functionality. That is Fiori user experience. And that is something that SAP, when you're going to look in the material, going to be highlighted very much. So with the change approach from user interface for the user experience, SAP also decided to make further adjustment in SAP application based on user type and their requirements. SAP divided types of user based on their approach of use of SAP application. This type are occasional user, expert user, and developer. So for example, I'm a trainer in SAP. So I'm a business department. If I want to buy something from shop, like for example, like tablet, like keyboard, like printer, I will be occasional user, and I will be not thinking about procurement side at all. Because for me, what is important, I go, I want to have it what I want, fast, simple, clear, board-based information, and I go log out to do it my job. Of course, if we're looking for my job as a trainer for procurement side, I have to have bigger knowledge. So I will be not only have knowledge about Fiori, I will have also information about expert, where I have to know about more functionality, where I'm going to work with old GUI version, multi-step transaction, multiply systems. That will be me as an expert, as a trainer. But if I'm going to use from business department just to buy the new laptop, I want to do it that fast and simple, and I don't want to care about many functionalities. So this is the users type that SAP provided. And of course, there is developer, the level that I will be never there. Developer is, of course, the person who, for me, it's omnipotentious, like amazing guys who know what they're doing. They don't concentrate Fiori, they don't concentrate the GUI, they back-ended oriented. So they have overall authorization and work on multiply system. But what I want you to take from this slide, this is the philosophy that SAP approach. So when they prepare right now the Fiori, they think about occasional users. Of course, expert can work on that too, but this Fiori application, it's browser based. So if you know how to buy on the internet, the clothes, the food, whatever is there, very the same way you're going to use SAP Fiori. So again, with different approach towards user experience, SAP define rules that they want to follow. Before that calls 5 pillars, right now it's just a change for SAP Fiori concept. And the first thing we already talk about, it's role-based. Making the application role-based means that user get all information and functions they need for their daily work, but not more. In classic SAP, user interface offers single complex transaction for many user roles. As SAP Fiori, decompose this big transaction into several apps. All apps are connected, but users see and perform only on transaction that they are assigned on her role. So when we look at the next one, we look at adaptive. Adaptive means that the application interface is responsive and it adapts to the size and device used by the user who access it. Guys, I'm quite sure you have your phone, you have your tablets, and you don't want to stick to your computer. Like, even if you're going to think about a salesperson that's going to the airport because he have to meet with the client and he have to approach something like buy pen for the partners, notebooks or anything else on your phone, it's possible to use it also this application. That's what is mean adaptive. Coherent gives a consistent intuitive user face experience. It means all applications speak the same language and can be implemented in multi-landscapes and environments. In other words, consistent. It's all the same, even what you see can be slightly different than what I see. Simple, I think I don't have to tell you this. The essential functionality are easy to use and can be personalized to focus on the relevant tasks and activities. You going to see that during the demo. I'm going to show you Fiori side and GUI side. And you're going to see that on Fiori side, we can truly personalize the screen. On Fiori side, on GUI side, it's like, oh, I can add something to favorites. Cool. So you're going to see the difference. And delightful. Delightful, it means low barrier to adaptation, and I have no other explanation to this. Anyway, this is 5 pillars that Fiori is based on. Now, SAP Fiori apps can be divided into following application types: transactional, analytical, and facts sheets application. So what is what? Transactional apps. So these apps offer task-based access to tasks such as change, create, display. Like for example, documents, master records. So all action during procurement process, like creating purchase requisition, changing for PO, or maybe creating PO, good receipt, invoice, it's going to belong in this application type, transactional. Why? Because we create, we display, we change. Analytical apps, we use the analytical application to analyze all of our transactional data. It is a process of gathering information. It gives you a visual overview of complex topics. For example, when you're going to analyze your purchase order and creating reports. And fact sheets. The fact sheet is the result of this analytics. Fact sheets provide you 360-degree view of essential information. So fact sheets are functional information about analytics that you have proceed about the transaction. Something that can be very useful for you when you work with Fiori, and from administrative, I think, more point of view, but very often I like to check the functionality of some application if I don't know it. I will be, guys, not pretended that I know everything. There's some corner of SAP procurement that I still have to search for myself a little bit more. And if I don't know something, I go for Fiori Apps Reference Library and I get all information that I want to have it. Because SAP Fiori Application Reference Library, it's a comprehensive library of all relevant SAP content for the SAP Fiori Launchpad. It is a guidelines for the administrator. Yeah, this is, I don't want to say Bible. I think it's not anymore political correct, but this is the guidelines. Everything what you want to have it, you have it there. Now, this slide represents information from SAP Fiori Apps Library on example of purchase order. Let's just back for a second for this slide. Here, if I have it SAP Fiori Apps, on the left side, I have it possible to search for application that I'm looking for. If we think that I take manage purchase order, so I give the information on the left side, here I have it information about this transactional app. So we know that purchase order belong to transactional application type and to sourcing and procurement line of business. What we have it here below for the products features, we know we have description about functionality of this transactional app. So this is gives you the overview. So this app gives me information what I can do with it and when it belongs. This slide represents information from SAP Fiori libraries on different example, creating material. Creating material is transactional app that belong to classic application. It means that this transaction app already exists before SAP Fiori was announced. And customers may choose which classic application they want to have in their SAP Fiori Launchpad using the configuration and customization of SAP Fiori. On the previous slide, we saw example of transactional app, classic transactional app, and now we see examples of analytic app. Like in previous version, we can see the first information from SAP Fiori apps libraries about line of the business and application type. And in the product features, we have again information for what is their purposes. After transaction analytics apps came time for fact sheets apps. So the overview page have the same structure of providing basic information, no matter of which type of application we're looking for. The overview page acts as a user interface framework for organization multiply cards on single page. Each card can deliver transactional, analytic, or search data. Therefore, overview pages are often a mixture of application type. Now, we talk a lot about what transactional, about philosophy that's done before SAP. Now we guys go into the play field, if I may say so. This slide represents exactly Fiori Launchpad. And I don't want to stick with a slide very much. This slide, although, tells you some information like top left corner, we have SAP logo. I don't know if you're using other SAP application, like for example, Ariba, in Ariba, or for example, in SAP, top left corner, you have it SAP logo, and this SAP logo has got functionality. It's like if you click for material master, if you go for purchase requisition processing and you start working on something and you very quickly want to back for this home page, you just click on SAP. Then we have home, it's navigation. It helps you to dive into some other apps that maybe you don't have it here. We are going to show you this. You have magnifying glass. Again, you have jump out again to some apps that maybe you don't have it here. You have it then Copilot button. And I like the Copilot button very much because if I learn something new, I don't know, for example, the official names yet, I can click here and there goes me the description, what is what and what I can do with it. And here, this is old slide. We have right now me menu in old version and the new version, and I think old materials already has been changed on our side. It's calling user action menu, and it's blue ball with your initials. And on this blue ball with your initials, you have the access for app finder. It's like with magnifying glass and home. Frequently used, recently used. This is like browser history. And here, something that you're going to use very often, by groups with functionality that you're looking for. This is exactly information about Copilot button. That doesn't function with me if I press F1. My colleagues from Germany always told me, Agata, press F1, press F1. I don't know why that doesn't work with me, but in theory, it should work. Like if you're on the Fiori side and you put F1, it gives you information where you are, what you're looking at, and you have it highlighted with this circle, and then you have it purchase order, for example, information. Then you have it general information about for example, additional field that you have it here, like what is delivery note, what is billing of lading, what is document date. So you don't have to really dive into, SAP help to know everything. It's just the Copilot tells you like, hey, this is it. This is where we're going to look for information. And then we have this 2 slides dedicated for GUI, right? So our old version, when we have it on one page, all the transaction for no matter which role you're based. And here you have it information how to log in. So first you choose one of the entrance for the server, then you go give information about your user and password. This information about user and password, guys, you get from your management when you start working. And then here it is, when you really entrance the user interface, what you can do with that. And there is not so much like in the Fiori, because what you can do, well, you can definitely create here favorites area. You have it here, a sub menu that you have to navigate. That's basically it. It for the slides, not for the demonstration, guys. And this is, in fact, time for the demonstration. Till now, does anyone has got any questions? Maybe we have it something. What is the meaning of Fiori? The meaning of Fiori gives you the very nice experience and easy to navigate, creating for example, purchase requisition and to work with the purchase order. So meaning of the Fiori, it's make your job easy. Yeah, for the application that you used to do it, how you used to work with it. And you know what, Sachin, let's just go together and check the meaning of application together. Okay, let's start from beginning of the beginning. When you log into your system, probably you're going to see such a windows like desk on the desktop. What you're going to be interested in, I just close it everything because I want you to show everything from beginning. It's when you go for the start, so for the windows, and you scroll down a bit, you have it Fiori Launchpad. If you don't find the Fiori Launchpad here, you can always search for it. Now, sometimes, I don't know why, it didn't work for me. So if Fiori Launchpad will not working for you, and this is, Fiori Launchpad, as you can see, it's browser-based application. So if you have a problem with that, just ask your colleagues to send the link for the Fiori application, and then you have it, the entrance here, how to log in there. I know that I shouldn't probably say if that doesn't work for you, but guys, I don't know what is this. Murphy Law with me works very, very good. Like whatever it should work, it doesn't. And I shared a good experience with you. Like, oh my God, that doesn't work for me. What to do? I was on Agata training and I know right now that it's enough if I just ask my colleague to send me the link for Fiori and I will be able to log in. So if you cannot find here the Fiori application, you can just use it, for example, Google Chrome, and put the link that you have it from your friend. Okay, about login and password, again, this is something what you get from your manager. And you just provide the login, password, and choose the language. This is quite important because if you don't choose the language, right now we have English, but very often it's German language. So be aware. Okay, and this is something what we have it when we log in. Top left corner, we have SAP logo. So if I just hover it on it, it even gives you the information, navigate to homepage. If I go for any process, like, okay, purchase requisition, I create the purchase, I said, right now I didn't want to show that my students, I want to very quickly back home. I just click on logo and here it is. I back there. So this what you see, this first built when you have it information about SAP logo, home, so navigation, it's calling shell bar. Below of it, you see group selection bar, and here you see the tiles and tiles group. This is the tile, all together 3 of them, tiles group. I told you at the beginning that philosophy of Fiori is role-based. And my role right now as a trainer, it's be a procurement person. So all here information that I have it assigned to me, it's based on role procurement. I don't have it anymore like salesperson, like financial or anything like this. Here, all what I need to be a person from procurement department. Of course, that can be different, depends on your departments. Okay, here we have magnification glass. Here we have it, our co-pilot. If I go for a co-pilot and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what is what, I go from home. I can go for search. I can see what is the search field. I can go from group selection bar. This, it's so cool because if I click on it, I have it all necessary information and I can go always to home page and ta-da! There is the information from help portal. It gives you the shortcuts. You don't have to log in, log out, try to find it. You have it all just by clicking on the call pilot that it's here on open help. This is the question mark. And it's calling officially co-pilot button. And then we have the blue ball with your initial regular. It's your initials. Right now I'm just logging as user S4529. So it's just S. And if I click on it, I have it recently activities, frequently used, app finder, setting, edit homepage, about, and signed out. Signed out, it's not the time, guys. This is not where we give up. This is something where we want more develop. So here we have it, for example, edit homepage. Let's just go together and see the settings and edit homepage. What does it mean? Let's just start with settings. So settings gives you information about user account. I don't think I have to describe any more than this. Quite interesting thing that we have it is, for example, appearance. And this is something that it's not in GUI, it's in Fiori. Again, Fiori works for you in such a way that personalize your view, how you feel comfortable with it. And at the beginning, I thought, really, what is the difference between sub-balise versus sub-balise deep? That it's nothing. But I know that there's a lot of people who, for example, prefer to have white letters on the black screen, or for example, has got problem with the eyes. And for them, when they, for example, have astigmatism, they like to work on the whiteboard. So something at the beginning for me was like, oh, really? Then was like, oh, really? That is quite interesting because, you know, they go quite nice effort to make it really something that works for you. So, as I said, you have it possible to change the color. Like, for example, when you use the Google map, when you go to the tunnel and it's all dark and it's automatically a system thinking, it's dark, so I change also the background. Here, it doesn't work like this automatically. You have to do it by yourself. Homepage. Homepage is quite interesting, and I tell you why. Because here you have, in fact, two options. One is show one group at the time. This is something what I have it right now. This is when I go from employee self-service, I have it one group. If I go for source of supply management, I have it one groups. This is not my preferred view. My preferred view, guys, it's when I go for settings, I go from homepage, I click show all content. Why? Because then I have show content that I can scroll down and search what I'm looking for. Maybe there will be a situation that I want to change the sub education for employee self-service, and it's easy for me to drag and drop. So I click, still keeping my finger on the mouse, and I just move for another place. So this That's why I like it very much, this view. Because anyway, if I for purchase requisition processing, I don't have to scroll. I just can click here and it takes me for here for the purchase. If I want to go even better, like for example, for a box that I need for S4520, again, very quick. So this for me, it's better for personalizing. Okay, what we have it more with the settings? With the settings, we have it, for example, user activities. When you click on your blue ball with your initials, there you have it information like last activities, what you like to do or not. And here you have it possibility to track my recent activities or not. So if you go out very quickly from some transaction, is it possible to back? Yes, if you have it turn on user activities. And something what I really like, and because I don't work only for English department, I also work with the German department. And regularly, when I use Ariba user interface, I have to log in, log out to change the language. Here, it's enough if you just go for the language and region, and here you change the language, for example, for there you go. And everything changed the name for German. I'm quite sure we can go with German language, but I don't think all of us speaks German, so I allowed myself to change for English. But yeah, Employee Self-Service, Bestellanforderung-Anlagen, meine Bestellung, Anforderung. This is something what is exactly the same, but in German language. And again, you don't have to log in, log out. That is so cool about that. And yeah, we change to English. What we have it more? We have it this magic edit homepage. I show you already that what we can do, we can click, drag and drop. One more time. Click, still keeping on my finger and mouse. Bang. Oh, work with me. Here it is, right? But everything what you can do. What you can do, for example, when I go for edit homepage, it's that you here additional group. So on the group selection bar, I can say that add group, like Agata is cool. Probably you write that in different name, but as you can see, you can give any title. Anything what works for you works for you. And as you can see here, optional tab. It means like empty one? No, we don't want to for sure empty one. What for we're going to create this group? Plus. Now, why I mention about this plus? Because sometimes here you're going to see application that you have it assigned to you based on what you need. But it doesn't mean that it's all what you can search for. If I click on this button plus, here the possibility to check what catalogs of application was assigned to me. So for example, I think about purchase order processing that I didn't have it application there and I need it. So by going for settings, edit page, and clicking on this plus, I have it possible to purchase order processing, and we use manage purchase order. How to add it to the user interface? By just clicking this icon, the pin. If it's blue, like darkish blue, it means it's there. Now, what I want you to remember, SAP Fiori, it's not Mac drive through. So if you go and click very quickly 1, it will not work. Very calmly, just click once. My experience, guys. Learn from the mistake. Then you have something like, for example, material find something like post goods receipt for purchasing document. I'm going to click on this once, wait to system to react, bang, I know it's there. And let's just add something more, something what we probably going to use. It's account payable and create supplier invoice. Oh, here we go. We have it. And you probably think, okay, Agatha, how to save it? I said, it's enough if you put the pin on the blue market, on the blue background. And here, if we're going for SAP logo, as I told you, very quickly go to homepage. Ta-da! Have it here. If, for example, we don't like some application, we want to have some application, I can always remove it by clicking on this X. What I don't tell you yet, it's that always on this box, on this tile, you're going to have it these three dots. If I have it these three dots, I can edit tile information. I can change create supplier invoice, just writing invoice, right? What for I need create supplier invoice? No, invoice. Very, very quickly information. Subtitle, whatever you want. Description, whatever suits you. Again, Fiori, it's this amazing constructs telling you it's role-based, it's easy to use on your phone, and it adjusts to you. So this is so cool about Fiori. This is the purpose, to make your job delightful. As much as I don't agree, whoever named that delightful. But yeah, it makes it easy, it makes fun. So this is it. What we can do more, in this place, you can also drag and drop some group. It is possible. When you finish, working with this groups, you just click close, and there you go. You have it. Agatha is cool first. Then you have news and links, employees or service, supplier and a business partner, material master, etc. If you really want, you can truly change the view as you want it. You don't have to. For me, this order is very good. I never want to change this order. But if you say, I don't agree with this, completely anarchist, I want to change everything, again, blue ball, edit homepage, and you can remove even whole group by clicking reset. Do I want to click reset? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I will be. Maybe we just the reset that I got is cool. Let's just do it. Here I go. I close it. Yes. Have I shows you everything? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I think I do. So let's back to the question as such. Do you feel comfortable with my answering and demonstration about the meaning of the theory? Or do you have more questions about that? Okay, that's perfect. Does anyone else has got some questions? Maybe you want to see something more. Maybe there's something that I didn't shows you and you want to share with others. Good, yes or no, it's enough, guys. But I want to hear your opinion. Do you feel comfortable right now with Fiori, especially those who see that for the first time? Yes. Do you have more questions? Again, guys, I know that this is the moment when I speak and probably you listen. Yes, you can unmute Sachin. If you have it possible, just unmute yourself. I won't hear your voice. I want to hear the question because this is how we learn.
Yeah, hi.
Hey.
Yeah, hi. This is Sachin. You just demonstrate that we can add any anything like whatever based on our authorization whatever authorization we have. The same way, can we add any Z transaction which we have developed or customized in ECC, like you are adding here, for example, create purchase requisition. That is, I think in backend it is MA51 transaction code. So same way, can we add any custom development, custom transaction in the Fury dashboard?
Okay, that is a very good question. So it depends if you have it administration right. Again, this role here, it's a role assigned to you by administrator. It's role based. If you're a procurement person, you're going to have the same role. If I don't find here something, I can go always from the home, and you can see here you have it all apps that I can use on my dashboard. Sometimes you can have a situation when you won't have from ECC transaction that you don't find it. About that, I have it few slides, and that about how to do it. I will give you the sneak peek how to show it, but again, without administration rights, it's like you will be not able to do it always, but you can always back to your manager, back to your administrator and said, hey, I'm missing something. Can you do something for me? And I shows you exactly how to work with it through the Fiori Launchpad application. Is that a good answer for your question? Do you wait a little bit for it, or do you have a little bit more question to dig in?
No, it's clear to me.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's perfect. You're welcome. And one more time, the most important thing about Fiori is that it way you have it here, or maybe you're going to have it here, different application. Okay, that was easy and fun, right? Because it's again web browser based, and it works pretty good. Oh, we have another question. Okay, yes. If you want, you can unmute. Oh, hey.
Yes.
That's
Hello,
cool.
Agata. So my question is, the customization layout that you showed us just now, is it something that each individual has to do for himself or herself, or if I have a group of users, can I do this layout for a group of users so all of them can have this? Can I get done for a group of users instead of person doing it for themselves?
That is very good question, and it looks like this. This settings that I shows you about edit home and moving and changing the names, it's what you can do. This here about the groups and catalogs that you can use it. If you're a manager and you have administration, right? Again, this is something what I'm going to show in a few slides. You going to log in for different GUI page, and you can check the roles that you're going to have it, and you're going to check purchasing self-service or employee self-service that it will be has visualization on Fiori. So if you have just administration, right, if you're the manager who give approval to use some functionality, again, from Fiori app, that will be something what will be by default. But the customization that it's here about, it's individual.
All right. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome, and very good questions. Okay, guys, so before we going for customization, let's just have like how to get to GUI. I know that probably all of you coming here for this course, you already work with it. This icon here, if I click on it, goes, and here when I choose a system that I'm going to work. If I go for SAP Netware, I'm going to have this pinkish side for working with administration. But if I'm just regular user, I'm going to have 4041, what can be named different in your company, and I click on it. The login is similar, but information about client, and then you have it user, password, and language. Let's just go with regular user and password. And language is very important. Here, if you don't provide the language, it's by default German. Probably in your head is going to question, but what is the client? So client is defined database that you're going to work for. Because I work for SAP and I talk with my consultant before I started providing these courses, they told me that there's only one company that use more than one client. Regular, you're going to work on one client. Again, it's going to be provided by your manager, so you don't have to worry to remember or find this information. This is just defined for which database you're going to work with. Okay. And here, if I provide user and password and logon language, I going to click enter and confirm the information, and I'm in. Some information that it can be important, or it was not clear for me at the beginning when I start working with it. Here on the top, we have menu bar. When we have menu, edit, favorites, extract, system help. If I have this menu, it's always for this user interface, for this process that I'm going. Watch out what happened if I have it menu, edit, favorites, extra, system help, and I go very quickly for some transaction. This here menu bar change. It's changed here. Okay, so I want you to remember that it's not stable. It change depends what you're doing, and it's used as a shortcut. Second thing that it's quite interesting, it's command field. This is something what I use it to show you how I quick go for some transaction. At the beginning, you can look on this and think, oh my God, what I'm looking at. And very often, you're going to be provided at the beginning the path how to go for a transaction. And why I show you this? Because it makes some order. Germany is all about the order. Ordnung muss sein. And this is so amazing because it makes easy. At the beginning it's confusing, but it makes your job easy. Here, if you're looking for the logistic, I cannot. If I click on logistic, I go for material management, I go for purchasing, I go for purchase order, I go for create, and here I have it possible to create vendor supplying plant node. So this gives me possibility to go. Why I show you this path? First of all, we're going to talk about procurement. Procurement is nothing else that telling that you're missing something and you won't be delivered. And what is delivered? It's service and material. And it have to be delivered to you. It have to be moved from one place to another. That's why they put everything on logistic. Then you have material management because, well, you manage it. Purchasing because you're buying it. Purchase order because you want to order that from, for example, supplier. And then you have create. Yeah, you can say that, Agata, but isn't that easier to work with the code? Yes, it is. That's why you have it, the shortcut here, that it's called here the command field, here when you put the comment. But you can say, Agata, you told us that it will be easy, and it's not easy. I have to remember the whole path. I don't know the code. And that's why you going to extracts, settings, and here you have display technical name. Okay, one more time for those who are here for the first time. Extracts, settings, display technical name. So every time when I go for the logistic, my purchasing, purchase order, create, I have this code. And at the beginning, yes, it will be painful, but then you very quickly go for it. And instead of going for the whole line, you will be just using this field and you're going for ME21 and enter. And it takes you for create the purchase order. Now, again, let's just here looking for this menu bar, and here for the purchase order, I don't have to go for create one more time, or go for the check the purchase order one more time. I can go purchase order and I can display change, create other purchase order. Right now, the system is restarted after the weekend, so I don't have any documents that I have created last week. So that's why I don't have any display changes. But again, you have it many that you can use it if you have it some data and you're going to use this many that is changed for the transaction that you go. Very often when I provide the course and my students is Agata, I'm lost. I'm said, don't worry guys, because here if you're looking for the small arrow, I go click on it, and here I have now information to which database I'm login. If I just click this arrow and change that for example, for transaction, I said, if you feel lost, guys, just write this transaction here. And then if you want to know the whole path, just Uncle Google tells you, because if I take ME21N SAP path, it's going to give it to me. Is this knowledge that you're going to have it during the procurement and working with it? Probably not. But again, something if you nice to know, maybe you want to change for consultant, maybe you want to work, change your position, then it's nice to know how to the path look like. And again, if you don't know on which session I am, on which transaction, right bottom, you have it here, the information. Okay, something that it's important. If I work here with the standard purchase order and I want to have it new transaction, I put /n, what does mean new, and then I go ME21N, and then going to able to open new transaction. If I want to open the new transaction, just putting ME21N or ME51 or any other, it will not allow that. So again, /n if I want to start new window. My trick always is if I want to work, for example, purchase order and very quick form good receipt, I use it this new GUI window. So if I click on this button, it just gives me second window. So I can very quickly back for this one and start new transaction here. This button, it's used for it. What else? Here we have it standard toolbar. So we have it back one step, go out and cancel. If I go step back, I'm here. If I go again for ME21N, I can go also from the system. Right now, I have log off because I'm on the regular sub menu. You cannot make a lot of stuff. As I said, you can personalizing stuff on GUI. Like, for example, I can add for the favorites. Like if I'm going to use very often ME21N, I can click on it, right click on the mouse, and then I have it add to favorite. Maybe I don't want to use right click on the mouse because my mouse is broken. I can always click on it, and here we have it add to favorite. And here I go. If I don't like it, I can always mark what I don't like it. Again, delete for the favorite. And here, if I have marked it, I can change favorites. And do I need this path? Nah, I would just say that it's purchase order. I click OK, and I have this transaction plus information. What is this? So as you can see, if we think about Fiori, if we think about GUI, Fiori, it's more, I think it's more on 21st century. So when you use, what I happened, I wanted. Oh, this is the comparison. I have it. So SAP Easy Access, it's something that You have it all information on one page, and here you have this famous role base. And you don't have to remember the path. You don't have to go through the comment field. You just click for the right group. So if I want to work with the processing, here it is what I can do with it. Do you have questions for this part? Probably not, because it's still easy, right? I think the question that it can pop up is with the next trainings, like when you're going to have it truly go. Yes, it is. When you're going to truly with the process, there are going to be a lot of question about the process and to look about all about that. Now, there was some questions about how we assign the role, how we work with it. I don't have all administration rights, so I am not able to show you everything, but I am able to give you some knowledge about that, so you know what is behind, and when the right time is coming, you know which arguments to use and where to find information and when to point out the finger and say, yeah, I know, but look here. Here's the information. My administrator, here's what I want. My deal manager, just give the approval and we do it, right? So we mentioned before that the design philosophy of SAP Fiori is based on 5 core principles: role-based, adaptive, simple, coherent, and, my God, delightful. Let's remind ourselves that role-based concept is an abstract construct. It's just abstract construct that represents a job that a person done. The business role includes everything they do that is related to their workplace and responsibility. So when you think about this person and the role that they're going to have it, you think about their task, how they access those tasks, how they navigate between the tasks. And on the slide, we can see the business role that can have view to different catalogs. This is the pinkish color, and different groups with the transaction that are going to be seen on tails in Fiori Launchpad. This is the blue. Of course, depends on user permission. In other words, you do not have access to some catalogs because your job does not require it. So how to work with it, right? How to have it this transactional. Let's see here. To which catalog, group, or role to assign, we go for SAP Fiori app reference library. Then we use search engine to find tasks that we would like to have permission. Like, for example, create purchase requisition. Then we go to tab implementation information, and we have all requirement information, what we want to see on this slide. Here it is. We look for groups and we look from roles, and we have information about catalogs. Now, let's just check that in front-end GUI system for administrator. Here it is. This transaction, it's calling SU01. SU01, it's for check which role has assigned. And here you can see the validation time that you have it assigned. Okay, so first, if you want to know, you're going for transaction SU01. You check if you have it this role, if you should have this transaction, because if you does and you don't see it, bang, there's the ticket for SAP team, right? But if there is not, you should give this transaction. Okay, this slide represents transaction P like Papa, F like Frank, C like Charlie, G like, oh gosh. So it gives it as PFCG. And on PFCG, if you're going for the menu and you have purchasing employee service and you have employee service, here is the information about Launchpad group, which you have it assigned, or Launchpad catalog. So again, backing to one of the questions that was at beginning, what we see as an end user, yes, we can manage with the settings, but if you have it more users, you can manage these more users what they see by assign the Launchpad catalog and Launchpad group. And it's visible on employee self-service and purchasing employee self-service. So again, let's just go for the slide. If I would manage that as administrator, on left side, I probably have Fiori open. On the right, I would have GUI for administrator. And immediately I would see on the employee self-service which catalog this person going to have assigned. And again, here, which tile, and here which catalog. So purchasing employee service, this is this additional transaction that sometimes I don't need it as a user to have it, because I don't know, maybe you're just junior procurement, you just finish your graduate study, they give you some position, they don't want you to do it everything, right? It's available for you, but not at this point when you're, for example, your internship. So yeah, there's possible to find it, but it will be not front-ended like, for example, here, because you don't need it. That's it. This is how it's look like. Now, before we go for session 2, that is at 12, let's just go together for this part. I don't have it right, so sorry guys for that. I cannot show you how it's look like on the Fiori. I really have to work on that. Ask my colleagues to assign me. What I have done, I just log in. My next step that we're going to do it is just to check if the person has got assigned the group. And here I look for the user. And one more time. Not always work for me. Okay, let's try it one more time. La 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 la. Few seconds for me, please. Let's just check this pure employee. Oh, there you go. I search for employee that I want to work with, right? And here I go with it, and I have information about the address. I have it possible to go for the role. I see if this person has got assigned the role. I can give the start date. I can give the end date. Maybe this person is just for, I don't know, a few moments. So I give the validation term and I check if this person has got the role. Here on the sub Fiori, I have information again when I find looking for implementation information. Here I have it possible to see catalog, business catalog, business. This person has got assigned a business role. Employee procurement, because we work on procurement. Then I want to go for the next possible thing, PFCG. This is the code that I'm going to use, and I'm going to use this code for procurement. Just give me a few seconds. Again, I take from the slide. There is the role that, for example, I am looking for to be managed. I click enter. And system, please work with me. Oh, there you go. And I see the users that are assigned. So, I can go from user side, or I can go from the role and assign users. So I don't have to go one by one. It will be terrible. And here you have many. And again, you have employee search service and purchasing employee search service. For me, as you can see, doesn't pop up anything. I don't have the right to do it. But if I would do it, I will check here, employee search service, title, object, text, and I start working with it. Question, guys?
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, hi, Lata, this is Sachin here. So, do we need to create new roles in SAP Fury, or it will be copy from SAP ECC system?
Um,
like in SAP ECC system, we have already created role as per the user group wise. So same can be transported on SAP Fury. Like we have other system connected to the
I
CRM.
think when you administrate it, you can do this like copy. I'm not consultant. I never done this. For it, I would definitely check for S4550. There's a lot of administration and my colleagues who provide this course, they have more consultant knowledge. So if you have it ECC, in my opinion, you will have to just assign the role group for the user, and it should be there. But again, I don't want to put myself here as a person who know. So sorry.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
S4550, guys, it's all about administration. So yeah. Let me know if you have it any questions. Now, I know that this is just beginning. The first session is like, here it is, here that. It's like, you go for the new apartment and I'm also telling you, this is the toilet, this is the kitchen, this is the living room. So that it's the first session. Second session, it's going bureau and roll because we're focusing on procurement. And here, guys, if you don't have it any more questions, because I don't have it for you right now, any more material before we start session number 2 at 12, I would like to ask you to give your opinion on the survey. Now, you can wait the whole week because we have it 8 sessions. It's not like I ask you to have it for all sessions. Just look if you like material and look if you feel comfortable with me as a trainer. If I speak enough slow, if I answer your question, if I shows you all the trick, just let me know in the survey. Survey truly it's check every time when our students does it. And I just remind myself that I didn't show you one thing. I don't know if when you work on the GUI, you have it override, and if you click, you have insert. At the beginning, when I, for example, write ME21N and I make mistake of ME, I write MA, and I want to correct that, it was eating my letters. So that was when I have it overwriting. So I want to correct, and then it was eating the letters. I was like, what's happening? So here down right bottom corner, if you change it for insert, it will work properly. Okay, so guys, this is it for this hour. I hope to see you on the next one. Again, on the next one, we start with procurement process and we start with purchase requisition, purchase order, good receipt, invoicing. I tell you all what I have to present to you with all my do's and don'ts. And I hope to see you at 12. Thank you very much, and thank you for a good question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Martin, I hope you have some questions. Don't hesitate. Sachin, thank you too. Don't be afraid. Even in Polish language, I will translate, I promise.
No problem. I can ask question in English, but for me, this session was nothing you had.
Yeah, I know, it's just beginning. Wait for the next ones.
Yeah, waiting.
Okay, good. So, see you later, alligator. 12 o'clock. Have fun.